What's up? It's me, Zeb, here on Zeb's Corner. Today, I'm going to have a photo shoot over my house. So it's my first. I'm not conducting the photo shoot. It is a young photographer, really talented, knows his stuff, and he's going to do a photo shoot for my daughter's makeup portfolio. So there's a few people who have to be showcased. There's a few people who have to get their shine, and I'm gonna learn a few things about lighting. So let's go to the store and get some things first. This out, sort of test, more like use for the time being, because I want to make sure I get the stuff. So I'm going to be using this Panasonic 4K. I don't want to call it a handy cam because I don't think it's that, but it's going to be shooting in 1080 because my poor computer will not be able to handle 4K. So that's going to capture a few things, and so is this phone. He's the photographer of the day, the hour, and all that good stuff. Mohammed. Model, Elena, right? I got it right? Right, I got it right. Yeah, I got it right. And another model, Asia, the sister of the photographer and the friend of this child. Oh, sorry, I poked you. That's my daughter, right? The makeup artist, whose whole thing this is about today. All right? All right, so I guess we're supposed to give her props or something. No, we're not.
So I'm doing some test stuff with this Panasonic here. So right now I'm on the Panasonic. I don't know which one this is. Which is this?
DVX200.
DVX200. I don't have the time to really get into the review stuff of it all, but it doesn't matter. It's heavy like a video camera would be. And so far I like it. I mean, I'm just using it to get stuff because I'm not sure if my other camera is going to capture what I needed to capture. So it films, but you already know that story. So I'm going between this and I'm going between this little thingamajiggy, and hopefully with what I have from the other camera, I'll be able to have 3 pieces of footage from 3 different camera sources. And so that would be interesting because trying to make them all look like one thing may be what I would go for, but who cares? This is just really to capture some stuff, just to give you what's going on at this moment. So I'm playing with that, and I'm playing with this. I have to charge this. So enough talking. And Mohammed is going to explain his setup, his whole entire thing. And ta-da, introduce yourself.
So, hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Mohammed, a local Mount Vernon photographer, here to help Zena with her makeup portfolio. So, for makeup, what I like to do is use a background, have a light that just really softens and brightens the face, because that is the focus of makeup, is the face. So to achieve that, just like I said, I have this white background, which is really portable, no need of a giant studio. And then I have just one light in this, what is called a beauty dish, right in here. And then also what I have here is one flash to give a little, what is called a rim light. And a rim light is to give dimension. So if you can imagine, when you look at photos, if I'm just shooting this picture of just one light, there's not gonna have any shape to the person. So to give them some shape, it's gonna brighten the side. So just as an example, this light on the side is just to also emphasize on the side. So that's the point of the 2 lights. Just to give you an overview of the equipment, I'm using a Canon 7D Mark II. Before this I had a T3i. It did a job. I wanted something a little better, so I got this. But if you're just starting, you get something cheaper. I have a 50mm 1.4. And then everything is being controlled by a radio trigger. Really important. Radio triggers is that you can wirelessly communicate with the flashes. So if I wanted, boom, I could flash them easily, no problem. So that's the point of that. So just to, this is a speed light, goes right on top of the camera typically, but like I said, it communicates with my camera with this radio trigger. So I control all the settings. I don't have to touch this, don't move it. Same thing with here. And the back of here is it's not a speed light, it's a strobe, but smaller than a giant studio strobe, and it does the job. And that's it. In order to build this photo, what I like to do is first place my lights where I think they're going to work the best, and then from there I start at the lowest power or the smallest amount of light that they'll put out, and then from there I'll just keep increasing or decreasing the power of each light until I get the brightness that I want, and then I'll move. That's how I build it. So what I do is I start from a base, then I build it to where I want it to be. So I just don't put them there and take pictures. If that makes sense.
Makes sense. Why don't you have the filter thing like you did yesterday on there?
This I'm not using the grid from yesterday because since there's two of them, I don't want it as narrow. I need it to spread out a little bit.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Okay. Cool. You guys ready? Okay, I'll see you look this way. Perfect. Not too much. And this just like that. Perfect. Okay, guys. Stay right there. 1. So earlier I explained about the shots of having a light to brighten her up, this reflector to bring light into the shadows, and I have a light there to make the background nice and white. To explain how I know how bright I want the lights, I do what I call I build it up. So earlier I mentioned I start from the lowest power to the highest power until I achieve that brightness. What I also do is I isolate each light using the radio system to know which exactly is doing. So for example, I have them on different power settings. I turn this one on, I turn that one off, which is this one to brighten the backdrop, and then I have this one to give her a dimension to lighten up her side. So this one I named A. I just turned it on and it flashes, but it's the only one flashing. Then I can turn that off and turn this one B, which is light brightening that. Now that's only working on that.
Okay.
This one is on C, so if I turn all these two off and then turn C on, now it's only hitting her side.
Gotcha.
So what I do is, I like to start, sometimes I like to start with the backdrop to make sure that's nice and bright and white. So from there you can see that it's only brightening up the backdrop. Yes, if it's silhouetting, then I know it's working.
Okay.
Then what I'll do is I'll leave that on and I'll make sure I have what is called a hair light. That's how it's used, or a kicker. Now I've isolated only for that. As you can see now, it's only lighting her side. That's how I know it's working.
Okay.
And then I'll isolate that and then turn on my main light, which is light A. And now I know what she looks like by just using that. So then what I do is I turn each one on, and then from there, now it's all built up and they add together to have an overall image.
Got it.
So there's too much stuff for me to grab all into this light stuff. It's a science that I'm not really gonna take the time to study. However, I do appreciate it. I do really need to learn more about it. Photography is not my ball of wax, so to speak. Video is easier. You point and shoot, the camera does what it needs to do. You set the camera to what you want, and you get what you want. Lighting is a whole other thing for me altogether, and Muhammad does an extremely good job at explaining how it works, why he wants it to work, the way he wants it to work, and so forth and so on. I, on the other hand, I'm just dumb to that stuff because it's just too much for me. You know, it's another stuff I have to learn, and I'm just not really willing to learn. But if I had to, I would. But there's a certain amount of respect to understanding how this whole thing works in relation to the subject and the camera and the lens and what light does and how light is very important. So I'm going to go back and see what happens next. So the day is over and everybody's leaving, and it was great. It was lovely. I had fun with this Panasonic, whatever the name of it is. I'll look it up, but I like it. And no, I'm not sure if I really want to get this as of yet, but I actually had fun with it. And Elena is leaving.
Oh wait, hold on.
Say bye. Wait, can I say? All right, she says bye. Thank you. She's a great model. You guys will get to check her stuff out on Instagram. It was great. I'm gone. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do for the rest of the day, but just clean up and gather all this fun stuff and look through it and have fun. But for the most part, you guys learned some stuff about lighting. I learned some stuff about lighting. And as I said before, it's not my cup of tea. Either way, hit the like, hit the subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you guys in the next one, and hopefully I'll have a better camera system.
What else do you want me to say?
Well, who you are, what was the photo shoot for, just basic small stuff.
Okay, well, I'm Dina, and I did this photo shoot for my portfolio because I do makeup. Mohammed helped me. He's adding this to his portfolio. Elena also helped me. She's adding this to her portfolio. So this was all a collaboration and helping us.
Okay, you dumbed out? Okay. All right, I'll wait till you get your stuff together. Okay.
Everyone's looking at me and I'm all scared.